Or should I?
You can leave it there.
Oh. Okay.
All right, everyone. It is Friday, and you know what that means? Yeah, we're just continuing on from the conversation before we got started today, but it is time for Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. And I am Damon Pistolka, one of your co-hosts here. Today, we're going to be talking about powerful digital marketing strategies for job shops. I'm just going to turn it over to my co-host there, Kurt Anderson, to take it away, introduce the guest, and get us started, man.
Damon, so we're unfortunately we're not young guys anymore. So back in the day, do you remember a band called the Talking Heads? Does anybody remember the band?
I love Talking Heads.
You love the Talking Heads?
Yes. David Byrne is amazing. I follow him on Instagram.
I saw David Byrne last night, man.
You did?
Wow, that's super cool.
I'm so jealous.
15 hours. So David Byrne. So now I have a little story about the Talking Heads. David Byrne. So
there we go.
So I was horrible. I played a sport in college. It was rugby. And our coach would always say, all right, boys, this ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. You remember that one, Emily? Remember that song? Life during wartime. So Damon, that's my kickoff for this show is this ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. We got Emily Wilkins in the house. Emily, how are you, my friend? Happy Friday.
This must be the place, man.
So you know what? I'm like everybody's like, what are they talking about? I gotta digress. So Emily, when my daughter was little, when she was, I'm a music junkie. I play songs for her all the time. I played that song for her all the time. So last night I go, hey, do you remember this? I'm texting her. She's away to college. I'm like, hey, do you remember the song? She's like, of course I do. I'm like, well, I'm seeing the guy live right now. And so anyway, great song. Nice. What give me another Talking Head. Any other memories, any thoughts of the Talking Heads?
My dad was a big Talking Heads, is still, I'm sure, a big Talking Heads fan. So yeah, just grew up listening to it. And we did a lot of like road trips and stuff growing up. And so lots of music, always.
Lots of music. And so that, and what's another song of theirs? Road to Nowhere. Remember that one?
Yeah. So, Road to Nowhere. Yes.
We're on Road to Nowhere. Come on, say. All right. So let's dive in. So we got Emily Wilkins in the house. So Emily, you know what? You're a repeat offender. You need to be a better judge of character hanging out with Damon and I. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah. Last time you were on the show was like in dog years. It was like 100 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Little bit's changed in those past 3.5 years, wouldn't you say?
So much has changed.
just a little bit. So let's start here. I have a question for you. I don't believe I asked you this question last time you were on, so I have a question for you. Are you ready? Are you sitting down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emily Wilkins, when you were a little girl growing up, who was your hero? Who did you look up to? Who just showered you with unconditional love? Who was your hero when you were a little girl growing up?
I have been so lucky in my life to have so many amazing parental figures, parents and grandparents. I had 3 sets of grandparents growing up. They are all, they all brought unique and different things to my life. My parents have always been super supportive and amazing. I mean, my mom's a calculus professor at an engineering school. My dad worked for GM his whole career. And he was a test engineer, so he would bring home vehicles all the time. And, I got to drive don't tell GM, I got to drive the company cars when I was like, before I had a license. Yeah.
We heard nothing.
We heard nothing.
I mean, my grandma was like, she was like Mad Men, like worked in the office of one of the competitors that they talk about on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. McCann Erickson was the big ad agency that she worked at. So yeah, retired from there. And yeah, just my dad's dad and his brothers were very musical. They were in bands, and my grandpa could play anything with strings. I actually have his guitar and violin on my wall behind my computer there. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to nail one down specifically, but
so amazing, incredible role models. Now, do we have a picture that I should pull up? Do I have a picture that we should pull up?
Well, it was a throwback to Talking Heads. So
This must be the place, Damon. There it is right there.
There
And
you
I think
go.
it ties in with, we're talking about all of our heroes. And
Yeah.
so this all blends together. So, all right, perfect. Thank you for, man, you know what? I need to get a screenshot of that right there. Look at that. So you just made my day. So Emily, tons of role models. Who had the biggest influence on you for your career, would you say? Because we're going to dive into, you are doing amazing work for manufacturers. Talk a little bit like who had a real heavy influence on you, kind of being this marketing guru that you've become.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I know how I ended up here. my mom's, I mentioned my mom's a calculus professor. So I had free tuition at Kettering University at engineering school. So I only had one choice with college, right? Like you were going to Kettering. So,
right. Yeah.
And I don't know that I ever really was super interested in engineering. I mean, I had seen the stuff that my dad was doing. You know, we got to go to like open houses at GM and stuff, and I heard about what he worked on. I don't know that was like super interesting to me. I was a lot more artistic and stuff as a kid, so I think I always wanted to go to art school, and I almost left Kettering for art school at one point. And my roommate in college convinced me, because her mom also worked at Kettering. Right. So she convinced me to switch to the business program at Kettering. And that's where I really started taking more of a liking to marketing. And my marketing professor actually, I think, had a lot to do with it, because she really was like, you have a real knack for this. Like, you're kind of a natural with the concepts, and you have a really good understanding of all of that. So, so I guess that is kind of an initial spark. And then my thesis project, I worked for a small fabrication shop right here in Zeeland, Michigan. And I worked really closely with the owner. There were only like 6 people that worked there, 6 or 7 people that worked in the shop. And but I worked really closely with him, and he was one of these guys that was always teaching and just always telling me about his, what he does as the owner and his role and all of that. So I think that also played a big role. I don't know. I've had a lot of influences in my life.
Yeah. What a lucky gal. And Kettering, one of the top engineering schools in the country. So like your mom being a calculus professor, man, is that impressive? Holy cow. So kudos to mom. So let's dive in. I'm going to pull up your website, as a matter of fact. So please share with folks Marketing Metal. What is Marketing Metal, and how are you making the world a better place?
That is a big question, Kurt. Marketing Metal, we help job shops make big profits and bigger impact. And to me, the word Marketing Metal, actually, if you go to like our About page, I have a dictionary definition of it on there. But it's to me, it's the stuff that makes you who you are, right? It's that high quality raw material that goes into great marketing. Having a brand that says something and means something and stands for something, and backing it up with action, right? You're not just saying that you do these things, but actually doing these things, like deciding that you want to be awesome and being awesome, right? It's yeah.
Well, let's, I love the snarkiness here, Marketing Metal, it's a noun, you give the pronunciation, but down here, like you've really leaned heavy into that word radical, and like you and I have gone back and forth. Like Damon, I love using that word, like radical gratitude. You're huge on using this word radical. Talk a little bit, like, what does radical, and we've got it right here on the screen, but like, what does it mean to you personally for like your brand, your culture, and how you institute that with your customers?
Like it says on there, bold, profitable, impactful, and willing to say no to BS, right? But it's, to me, I think the reason I landed on that word was kind of a lot of things. I did a lot of like dictionary, Googling of what the word radical means. I think it really came from, there have been several iterations of the Marketing Metal brand. Okay. So when I first started, I was using photos from my grandpa's brochure, which I still use throughout, in some places, but that was kind of like the like main imagery on my site because I didn't have a lot of like examples to point to. So it's kind of, you know, when you're in marketing, coming up with imagery, or when you're selling marketing services, coming up with imagery to sell your services is kind of hard because it's like conceptual, right? And every project is different and whatever. So anyway, I used these photos from my grandpa's brochure, and it was always kind of targeted toward manufacturing, but not as specific as I am now, not even close. And so then when COVID happened, I really differentiated and was like, I'm just going to do whatever. You know, I had all these random people reaching out for marketing help and not in manufacturing, like randomness. So I rebranded again to be more like marketing metal, like rock and roll metal. So then we had kind of this rock and roll vibe going. And then when I joined No BS, Pia's program, as Kurt and I were talking about before this, you know, she, part of her whole philosophy and part of what I bring to my customers is getting really specific about who those perfect customers are for you. And that was so hard for me to put my stake in the ground and say, like, I'm just going to help job shops, right? Like, and not just any job shops, like job shops that want to do things differently, that want to show up and be different and care about the impact that they're making on the world. You know, the ones that are willing to do things different and try new things. So yeah, I think that's where Radical really came from, because it was like, that's like a metal, you know, heavy metal kind of like Radical, man. Yeah. So that word just kind of fit. It just seemed like it was a good way to explain what I was all about. Yeah.
And you know what, I'm gonna grab your website one more time, because there's a line here. As a matter of fact, I might grab it a couple more times, but right here, number 7, you know, marketing chops, as in, damn, that shop has some marketing metal. So I absolutely love that line right there. But there's multiple things that I want to ask you, and I know, and I'm not going to throw all these questions at you at once, but hopefully, Damon, help me out. I got to try to remember all these questions. I want to lean into the manufacturing, the marketing metal, you know, helping manufacturers. But you mentioned Pia and you mentioned coaching. And one thing that I really admire about you is that you've leaned in, you've like raised your hand, and you kind of said, like, you know, I don't know if I'm hearing like, hey, I was a little bit all over the place, but somebody helped me get focused. What did it take for you as an entrepreneur to kind of raise your hand and have that humility to say, you know what, I need help. I don't know it all. I need a coach. And ironically, I had read Pia's book like a couple years prior to meeting you. So I'm a huge Pia fan. And so when I'm like, oh my God, you're getting coached by Pia, like that's legit. What did it take for you was there an aha moment or a tipping point? What was that like for you to start that coaching process?
Yeah, well, Pia's book starts with her crying at the kitchen table moment, right? I had one of those moments. It was, I lost my biggest customer and they were months behind on payments, and I had just hired 2 new people to help with their account. And I was like I was doing the typical agency thing, which is growing retainers, but booking retainer clients so that I had predictable income, so then I could hire people to do the work and blah, blah, blah. You know, I was following this script that the agencies are follow, you know, typical agencies follow, not Pia's agencies, but and yeah, I lost this customer, lost my dog, who I was love of my life. Like
your soulmate.
And you guys maybe know this story, maybe you don't, but my intestines exploded. I can't believe it. Yeah. Been like 8 years already, almost. 9. I can't do math right now. Don't tell my mom. And George was there for me. Like he was my guardian angel through that whole process. And then it was like this whole month-long thing where he was declining with cancer, and we didn't know that that's what it was, and had like given us hope that it was just this like infection. He's gonna be fine, and you know, just like on and on. And then so this is all happening, and then this client leaves, and it all blows up in my face, and I just felt like my life was ending. Like everything was collapsing. I was doom scrolling in the parking lot at the emergency vet, and this Pia's ad came up on Instagram, and I went down her rabbit hole, and I, just like consumed everything that I could find. I think I downloaded, I think she had like a free first chapter of her book or something. And I was, she had this blueprint for a no BS agency, and all of it, like she was just speaking directly to me. Like everything that was happening in my life was the things that she was saying. And I was like, sold. I had one conversation with her, 15-minute conversation with her. And I was like, yep, I'm in. So.
Gosh. And 4 years later, still coaching with her, and just phenomenal. The big thing that I want to hit right there that you said is like, here, a person out there like knew you, spoke directly to you, had no idea who you were, didn't know that you existed, but spoke directly, and somehow, I'm sure not by accident, found, ended up in your feed.
Yeah.
You do an amazing job. I think, we've done webinars together, and you talk about that ideal customer, right? Yeah. Share for folks out there with manufacturer, entrepreneur, they're feeling maybe like you at that kitchen table. So Damon, that was me yesterday, right? No, I'm just teasing. So, there might be entrepreneurs, there might be manufacturers out there just really struggling with their marketing, their lead gen efforts. Share with folks, why is it just so critical to lean into like what you've done with your company, what Pia did to you? Why is it so important for manufacturers to lean into that ideal customer?
Yeah, I think, like marketing agencies, job shops tend to take whatever falls in their lap, right? They're problem solvers, they're doers, they can do anything, right? They have the tools in their shop to make whatever happen. So they fall into the trap of like working with these customers that are not profitable for them, or pain in the ass for them for one reason or another, and then that's that opportunity cost, right? Like they could be spending that time working with really good customers that actually value them and want to be working with them.
Right. Yeah.
They could be spending that time marketing themselves, so then they have more options to choose from, right? They have leads coming to them that actually want to work with them, and they don't have to just take whatever falls in their lap.
Right. Absolutely love it. Damon, your thoughts so far? What's going through your mind?
No, I think it's great that I love the story. First of all, Emily, it's great because that's what we should really be trying to do in our marketing, what we're talking about. And it's not just to be, luring somebody in to pay us money. It's really about getting the right people, those people, like you said, that connect with what we're talking about, that deep a level that they know this is probably where I want to be.
Yeah.
And feel it. And right. Both of you feel it when you do it, because that's what the right marketing does. It doesn't just drive $1 to get exchanged. It drives a relationship that really adds value to both sides and both of their lives and their experience.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I want to, like, when you talk about like walking a walk, talking a talk, right? Or if I said that backwards. So Emily walks the walk. So right here, like if I'm a restaurant or retail or whatever, and if I land on the website, like you're really not speaking to me. But boy, if somebody out there owns a job shop, you are like, hey, I am your solution right here.
Yeah.
So Emily, talk a little bit about what we're seeing here. And again, like your shop rocks. I love the language. I love the look. Damon, what do you got?
Well, I just see that machine.
Yeah.
And I actually ran a company that had a machine like that with all the big things. And watching those things work is amazing.
Right.
When you have to have super big cranes and moving stuff into them. That's awesome.
Right.
Anyway.
Massive pieces of equipment. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's from my husband's grandpa's shop, actually. But
is it really awesome? Yeah, cool. And so just share a little bit of like, your branding, your look, how you speak to your clients. And I want to just kind of scroll down the page a little bit. But as you're sharing this, again, like speaking to that manufacturer about, hey, these are some of the changes that maybe you could make on, if you're a job shop, maybe you're not everything to everybody. I've had the privilege, I know a couple of your clients. You and I went out to dinner with one of your clients together.
We did.
And I've also taken a tour of one of your clients. Like I know firsthand the magic that you bring to your clients. Just talk a little bit about like your branding and then how you bring that to your clients.
Yeah. it's all about the customer. It's getting in their head and figuring out what they, what is the unique brilliance that I'm bringing to the table? How can I help them solve their problems, right? And they know that what they're doing is cool, right? They maybe they know, maybe they don't. But when they don't have a brand to back it up, then they're not going to have the confidence to go out there and sell, right? They're not going to have the confidence to do what they need to do to to build a profitable, scalable business. So so that's a big part of I just got off a live with Josh McCain, the Throughput Manufacturing Mastermind, and we were talking about how one guy was like, well, what if I do all this stuff and I start to get overwhelmed with business? What if I get too busy? And well, if you have a brand that's really clear and you're really authentic and and specific and intentional in what you're saying, then you're going to attract more of the right people. And if you have the right, if you have a clear process, it's a lot easier to weed out the bad ones, from the start too. So, and when you have more leads coming in than what you can execute on, then maybe you can fire a couple people that you can on over.
Yeah. It's those who own the leads win. That's what you just need to say there, because if you have the leads, you can decide if they're the right fit or not, and you can nicely help them find somebody else.
You can, yes.
Well, and Damon, I don't know about you, but as a Reese's cup, peanut butter cup chocolate fan, are you the peanut butter to our dark chocolate? I think.
I like that. Yeah.
I actually have to. I stole that from my friend Sarah Chambers, also a coach in the No BS program, and I totally just swiped that from her because I was like, that's beautiful.
We didn't need to know that. So that's
I'm happy to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
I also love peanut butter and dark chocolate. So
awesome. So, all right, guys, if you're I know we're coming to the top of the hour. We're here with our dear friend Emily. You want to stop by her LinkedIn, do yourself a favor, connect with her on LinkedIn, check out her website. If you've been struggling with your website, you're like, man, it's just not really connecting or resonating with folks. Man, this is a great stop by Emily's website. Take a look at it. You get some great ideas, some suggestions. Better yet, give her a call, drop her a note, say, hey, we need to have a geek session because she does phenomenal, incredible work. So I'm going to come back to you here. So let's dive into your website. You do phenomenal design, branding, strategy. Walk us through a little bit like the process. Manufacturer works with you. Can I mention a couple of names? Can I mention one of your clients? Like Peter's, right? Peter's Heat Treat.
Yeah.
Well, man, Damon. So we went out to dinner with the owner. They think Emily walks on water, man. It was
nice.
Just, and did we have a wonderful dinner that night? Remember that? It was like we were at the, overlooking the lake, and my God, it was such a nice night.
Very cool.
So thank you for nudging me that night and connecting.
Thank you for driving 45 minutes and picking me up and taking me to dinner, because that was amazing.
And we went to the lake. I think, did we skip some rock? We threw some rocks, right? We skipped some rocks.
There you go.
We did.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So we went down to the lake, Lake Erie, and one of our Great Lakes. And so we went out to dinner and had a wonderful time with her customer. But just when you connect with a manufacturer, and you do quite a bit, and you're in Michigan, you do quite a bit in the great state of Pennsylvania. Talk about when you start with that engagement with one of your clients, what does that look like? Like let's start with the basics.
Yeah. So I start with a 15-minute intro call, just to see how we vibe, right? See if we're a good fit. And if they, if they seem like they are a good fit for our process and we can help them, then I tell them how it works, and I send a follow-up email that explains how it works. So we start with something called the setup. Like every good machining manufacturing project has to have a good setup. Yep. So it's an hour and a half conversation where we deep dive into who they are, what are their big goals and dreams, who are their customers, what makes them different, all of the things, really, really deep dive to try to get a good understanding of what they're all about and what what they're trying to do with their company. And then from there, I write up a brief that outlines what I see as their best opportunities to move forward. What I see as their biggest opportunities with their brand and marketing. And then I recommend one of our packages and we go from there. Nice. Sometimes they hire us, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come back 2 years later and they're like, hey, we're ready now.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point because not everybody's ready to buy at the time that they're kind of looking around, right? And sometimes life, business, other things can get in the way of that specific thing, and they'll come back later. But the impression that you leave with a really informational and educational process leaves it open, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think the challenge for Damon, you've said this, I feel a million times. The challenge with the manufacturer, they I won't say no problem, but they'll buy $250,000, $500,000 machine because they know if I buy this machine, I can produce results and I can physically watch this thing printing money as I get my return on investment. The challenge with marketing is it's arbitrary, and I don't fault the manufacturers at all when they're a little hesitant on like, what do I do? But however, Emily, we need to help them stop being the best kept secret. You do a great job. First off, again, are we at the top of the hour? Almost at top of the hour.
Yes, we are.
Stop by Emily's website. Stop by her LinkedIn. She posts all sorts of amazing content on LinkedIn. Emily, I love following you. Love following your life. You share your dad, your husband. I think it was your anniversary not too long ago, right? Was it?
It's actually in 3 days.
Nice.
Was it in 3 days? So, all right. So guess what, Damon? I think we've got a friend here. If they're in the comment, our friend is celebrating her 33rd anniversary. How about you want to pull up Diane real quick?
Yeah, Diane, she says strategic planning, and yes, sometimes we need to let the timing be right for our customers. And Diane, thanks for dropping the comment. She also says happy Friday, and yes, it is getting close to her anniversary as well.
33 years, and I think Emily, if I saw this, did I see 18? How many years have you been married?
13 years. We've been together for 18. I think it'd be like 19 years in March.
I thought I saw a post somewhere. For some reason, it was in my mind 18. So anyway, happy anniversary to you. Yeah. Happy anniversary to our dear friend Diane Beyer out there. Diane, sending you tons of love and celebration for this weekend with her and Frank. And so, Emily, congratulations to you and your husband. I love following your journey, but you're on site. I feel like you get on site with your clients, correct?
Yeah, I love getting in the shop with them. That's the best way to get to know them, and it really helps us to be able to, tell their story. Really, I was just with a shop. I don't have a lot of local customers anymore, but I have a new client in Fenville, Michigan. They make these just massive pieces of equipment for not equipment, but massive parts for boats. So it's like the housing that propellers go in.
Yeah.
They're called quart nozzles.
Nice.
And they're massive. Like one of them weighed like 88,000 pounds.
Nice.
It's incredible that the stuff is made right here. Yeah, we got some really cool photos. I can't wait to show.
Oh yeah. And that's what's fun about manufacturing, right? Is you connected with that client and helping them, and they're doing really crazy technical things.
Yeah.
And if the world just knew about it, they'd be doing more of it.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to, you know what? And we didn't script any of this, so I might put you on the spot a little bit, Emily. So I'm taking a little chance here with a question. Share any particular story that you've been blown away with, like when you, again, like say our friends in, I'm thinking of some of the folks you've worked with in Pennsylvania. Is there a particular story, a particular client where you're just kind of blown away of like, anything that they've overcome, or just when you're on site, you're like, man, this is just, I'm so blessed to be part of this process here. Do you have any, or maybe all of them, but is there any one particular story that just really stands out above the rest?
Yeah, all of them. I mean, they all just have such cool, unique stories. They're all doing such amazing things for their communities. And we were talking a little bit before the show. I've been piloting a mastermind program this year with a few of my clients. So once a month we meet up for 2 hours and talk through our We start with wins, of course. Us high achievers have a hard time remembering all that we've already accomplished and get hung up on what we want to accomplish and feel like we're never getting there, right? Because we're always moving the goalposts. So we start with wins, and then we talk through any challenges that we're having, and help each other out with provide resources and make connections. I have a couple of them that are collaborating on projects. They're, giving each other referrals and really, really engaged and interested in we just had a client meeting yesterday, and he was asking about one of the guys in the group and whatever happened with him, with him and his partner, because they were like having some issues. And it's just been the coolest thing to see them all connect. So yeah, I mean, a couple of the ones that are regulars in the group, Gyler and Jessica at Bent River, we just launched their website. It's amazing. So excited. Ian Stork helped with that, the video on that one. I can give you the link. No.
And what's your dog's name?
Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Come here, buddy.
That's cool.
Hey, we got to get Indiana on the show. Dave and I are dog junkies. So we got now Bent River. Is it Bent River Machine?
Yes, Bent River Machine.
Can I pull the site up?
Yeah, of course.
And so let's see. Let me grab that real quick. Let me make sure do I have the right one? It's Bent River.
They were just named on the Inc. 5000 list this year.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
How cool is that? Our guest on Wednesday was a client we work with. They're on the Inc. 5000. So I'm thrilled to share. Thank you for sharing that. So talk a little bit about, this is super exciting, guys. So, here with Emily Wilkins, we're checking out a new website project. You just launched it this week, you said, right?
It was a few weeks ago.
Talk to us what's going on here and tell us about the process.
Yeah. So they had this very corporate kind of cookie cutter website with all sorts of stock imagery that didn't really, it didn't show any of the people that they have there, which their people are a huge part of what they do. They do really super custom equipment, automation stuff, and their ability to solve problems like that is a huge part of what they're selling, right? Their expertise.
Yeah.
Just like all the shops we work with, they're selling their expertise at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going on site with them and doing the photography and video was a huge part of building their brand. And we kind of designed the brand around the photos. And
did you really?
We kind of do that. We do that fairly often with our clients because the photography is a really key part of the image that you're bringing to the table.
Take that a little further. You piqued my curiosity there. Take that a little bit further. So you built this around the photos. Sure. Take that a little further for us, if you could.
Like the colors and everything kind of come out of the. They're like the tones that were coming out for us in the photos that we got. They had that, they're in the desert, so we use kind of that orangey, burnt orange color.
Yep.
And then the river was a big part too. The Bent River is actually in the town where they are. So that's where the name comes from. So we pulled kind of that. They have some of that dark turquoisey stuff on the wall, on the walls inside of their space too. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Gosh. And were you just on site with them recently, or?
It was actually in April. We kind of did their it was earlier than that. No, it was March. I know it was March. It was International Women's Day because I was there for my friend Sarah that I mentioned for her event in Phoenix. But anyway, we Yeah, we kind of did their brand in phases, which we don't normally do.
Right.
So there were lots of reasons for that, but
Nice.
normally we do it all.
So Emily, let's go here. So on Wednesday, we were interviewing this gentleman that's at Inc. 5000. And so we like to say iron sharpens iron, right? And most, I don't know, many entrepreneurs are out there saying like, man, I want to get my company on the Inc. 5000, getting underneath the hood, aligning, partnering. And again, like you're part of the process. You were part of the victory for them, winning. Any takeaways that you saw what was about this company that got them on Inc. 5000? Any particular traits or like, what did you see when you were on site with them?
I can't take any credit for their
Oh, come on.
Inc. 5000
We're giving you some credit.
Thank you. I can't take any credit for it. They are just amazing leaders. They're they care about their people. They're working with, actually, they were referred to me by Jim Mayer, the manufacturing culture guru.
Yep.
And so he was there on site with me as well when we were there. And, they've hired him and invited him in to help improve their culture and work with their team. And, just having that self-awareness that you don't have all the answers, right? And that you can improve and bring in other experts to help you. That's a big signal to me that they're good leaders, that they're doing, going to do what's necessary. I think to get on the Inc. 5000, you just have to pay money and apply. I don't know how many they turn away. You'd have to ask them, but I mean, it's really cool to be, and that was a huge goal. And when I first had the setup with them, that was a goal that they had mentioned.
Get on.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and then I want to mention another client, the one that we were with yesterday, Johnny Goody of MSP Manufacturing, also launched their brand early June. But Johnny's just the coolest guy. He is from a military background. He worked in law enforcement for a long time, and then decided to take over his dad's machine shop. Not having any manufacturing experience, and really just dove in and got his hands dirty and started learning from the shop floor up, and now he's just he is seriously crushing right now. He was mentioned in Forbes. He's been in Modern Machine Shop. He's all over the place, just really showing up and doing that personal branding, being the face of the company, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're really getting the who's who. If I mentioned Ashley Walters, wasn't Ashley a client of yours? Yep. And Damon, she was on the show. She wrote a great book, I think, Grit and Grace.
Yeah,
and so. And what an incredible overachiever she is. But it's just so impressive on how you're really landing the who's who in manufacturing, and I tell you, our hats off to you. You're doing such a great job in helping the industry and just helping people stop being the best kept secret. We're going to start winding down because I know you're saving manufacturing all over the country. You're super busy. You've got an anniversary in 3 days, so you've got plenty to do. How about AI? That you can't have a conversation these days without AI. What is AI doing for you, your clients, your processes? What do you want to share there from that perspective?
We could have a whole episode on this, Kurt.
Might have to have you back, my friend.
We might have to. I don't know. So another one of the coaches in Pia's group has the AI Queens podcast. She just came out with. It's amazing. Check it out. And she's just using AI like a wizard and sharing all of her knowledge with us as well. I'm a little bit more, I kind of go back and forth with it.
Oh, do you?
I mean, we use it. We definitely use it. And it's making us faster and more efficient and better able to focus on the things that really matter, if that makes sense. Taking away the boring nitty gritty things that we don't need to pay as much attention to, I guess. But I don't know. I still go back and forth sometimes. Like sometimes I feel like I think what AI has helped me with the most is getting clearer on what I'm trying to say. Like helping me prepare, like, because garbage in, garbage out, right? If you put garbage into it, it's going to give you garbage out. So you have to do that work of figuring out what the message is and making sure that you're, saying what you want to say and like giving it the right details and whatever. Otherwise you're just going to get bland garbage that sucks. So it can take your rambling, right? Like I can record a ramble on my phone and then put it in there and it can turn it into something that's intelligible, which is great. Especially for, it's really awesome for like people who have dyslexia and maybe don't have as strong of a writing background, but they have ideas that they want to share. It's really amazing. It's doing some amazing things. And I'm involved with my our local TEDx conference here. Not so much this year, sadly, but last year we had a guy talking about AI and how they're using it to he's using it to help people speak who like have whatever issues with speaking. So there's some really awesome applications out there for AI. And I mentioned Johnny. Johnny's using it a ton in his business to help their processes go better. I know he's using it for programming, and like they've kind of done side by side with the human and the programmer, and it's like cutting the time down in a quarter. Cloud NC is the company that he's been working with on that. Okay. So yeah, I mean there are great applications, but there are also drawbacks, right? There's a lot of when you're just reliant on, it can make us lazy, right? It can make us lazy and complacent, and I don't think that's good for humanity. So I think, as with any technology, any tool, we need to use it with intention, right? Yeah. Not to mention what it's doing to the environment, but that's a whole nother.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like from a weird example of a calculator, right? Before we had calculators, we had to do it on paper, and then you go take it one step further, and then you have the engineering calculators now in school that they don't have to really learn calculus, how to do calculus, because you've got an engineering calculator. I was talking to my wife about this last week, and that's kind of what we're seeing with AI. Is it's like a calculator on steroids, but when you rely on it, and I was just reading a good book on it this last week, it's just trying to predict what it should be saying. It doesn't really know. So so we have to be checking what's coming out of it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And my mom makes kids do the work by hand because
hey, God bless her. That's right.
You can't do the work by hand.
That's right. My daughter's taking calculus right now. I'm like, oh my God, good luck. And all right, so we'll start winding down. A best friend of mine texted me this morning. He is a psychologist in Minneapolis. He's at a conference in New York City this weekend, and it's an AI conference for oncology and for cancer. And I'm like, gosh, hasn't anybody dropped it into ChatGPT how to cure some of these diseases? So anyway, so maybe who knows? Maybe we'll cure some problems out of this. But Emily, as we start winding down, you mentioned you have a mastermind. Is this something like, do we need to get this out to the universe? How can people join? How can people connect with you? What do we have there for the mastermind?
Yeah, so we are booking into 2026 right now for branding clients. We have 10 spots, and when they're gone, they're gone. So if you want to work with us,
and you better sign up fast.
Sign up.
Is that what you're saying? Yep. Okay.
So you better get on my calendar for the setup ASAP. Right. Well, we'll probably have an intro call first. So, and then, the mastermind is kind of a next step to that. I've only been offering it to clients. I'm going to offer it to a group of clients that I kind of handpicked. I'm going to be extending it to previous clients and also trying to figure out how to offer parts of it to people that are not clients, that are other shops that are not.
Excellent. Okay. So again, connect with Emily on LinkedIn. Check out her website. She's got a mastermind. Now, I think Damon and I might have an exclusive today. Damon, is there something else on the horizon that not that you're not busy enough, right? Like, let's throw another minor thing. Do you have something else exciting to share today?
Well, I've been writing a book.
Hey.
Yes. It's, I don't have a published date for you yet, but it's coming.
Well, you know what? Now we want to be your accountability partners. How's that? So you've put it out into the universe, and so now we are major, as you know. We're president of the Emily fan club outside of like your dad, your husband, your immediate family. We're right there next to them. But we are rooting you on, supporting you, and just when that book launches, hopefully we're one of your first stops to help promote the book. So that's
definitely.
All right, Damon, let's start winding down. Your thoughts, my friend, as we start wrapping up. What are your thoughts today? Are you on mute?
Sorry, my dog was barking in the background, so that's why I've been on mute.
All three of our dogs were barking on this.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, they probably heard each other.
Hey, is Odin right there?
No, he's in the other room.
Oh, he's in the other. He's
alerting me that there are people in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Right. Yes. It's very important to know.
There's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, somebody might be walking down the street.
Yes.
All right, Damon, let's try that again. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I really love how you're helping these job shops and these people really see the cool things they're doing and then sharing it with the world. I mean, that the bent knife there, or bent river, excuse me. I mean, such cool stuff that's happening all over in these places, and we often don't even get to see any of it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. The best kept secret, right?
Yeah. Best kept secret. So, all right, Emily, we're going to wind down. I have two last questions for you. You ready? You sitting down? You ready?
I'm sitting down.
Hey, where's your mug? There you go. Hey, she's sharing love with us. She had that mug last time she was on. So, Emily, as an entrepreneur, what is the best business advice that you've been given that you would love to pass along? Best business advice, either you tell gosh, I wish I would have known this X number of years ago, or B, something that you would love to share along to a new entrepreneur. Best business advice.
Oh my gosh. I have so many things. How do I say one thing?
You can just make it a long run-on sentence, right?
A really long run-on sentence. I don't do it alone.
Don't do it alone. Drop the mic right there.
That's a good one.
And that's not to say like have a business partner, but have a group of people that are rooting you on and supporting you. That's why I started the mastermind, because I've gotten so much out of my No BS group. Like I would not be here. I definitely would not be here today if I had not joined the No BS group. So I just really wanted to provide something like that for shop owners. I don't think there's anything out there there's not a lot out there that's really specific to small shops, leading small shops. So that's really why I did it. But having people that understand you and your vision, and that you feel comfortable enough talking to them when shit's not going well. Like my team is, I'm going to cry because I am I'm so grateful for my team. Thank you, Indy. I'm so grateful for my team because they get me, and I can tell them when when I'm struggling with something, I'm procrastinating, right? Like I just put it off and pretend like it doesn't,
right.
So it's like figuring out why why am I procrastinating on this thing? And they just come in like all hands on deck, like problem solving mode, and help me. This just happened last week. Like I had something where I was like, they kept asking me about it. I kept pushing it off. So yeah, I don't know. Just surround yourself with who get you and who have different skill sets than you that can help you see things that you don't see on your own. You wouldn't see on your own.
That is brilliant advice. Our dear friend Diane Byer, who stopped by, she always says, like, the friend that's willing to hold the mirror up to you, tell you that, hey, you've got food in your teeth type thing. Yes. And I'm familiar with Pia, and I've seen your social posts when you have your group meetings. And I envision just like everybody coming together, just unconditional loving each other, supporting each other, rooting each other on, giving each other tough love when you need it. Like you said, hey, if I'm procrastinating, you need that little kick, they're there for you to get things. What a blessing, what a gift that is to have. And the thing is, again, you're blessed to have that, but you created it. You invited it. You raised your hand to make that happen. So I commend you for that. I have one last question for you. You ready? You sitting down? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Are you a baseball fan?
Well, the Tigers are struggling right now. So
well, they beat Cleveland last night, so they're tied for first.
Thank you for doing that. You put us
is that helping you out, Damon?
Yeah, it did. It helped.
So you're a Tigers, you're a Detroit girl, you're a Tigers fan. Let's go here. You ready? So the Tigers are playing the dreaded Cleveland Indians, hated Cleveland Indians. It's the bottom of the ninth. There's 2 outs. There's a guy standing on second base, 2 outs, bottom, like they have to win to get to the playoffs, right? The manager looks down the bench and says, hey, Wilkins, grab your helmet, grab your bat, get up to the plate and hit in the winning run for us. Will you please? Because we need to make the playoffs. You ready? You with me? Mm-hmm. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, person on tie score, person on second base. You grab your helmet, you grab your bat, you're walking up the plate to go hit in that winning run. On your way to the plate, what's your walk-up song?
It changes depending on the mood I'm in, honestly. I have a few of them. Okay, so this I stole from our mindset coach that Pia's brought in, Gary Montalvo, who's amazing. It's all I do is win.
All I do is win.
Win no matter what.
That's what Sammy's is. Sammy Birch. That was her walk-up song. Yeah.
Oh my God, I missed that. Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
My other one is Taylor Swift. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. Another good one.
2 classics.
Bass in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, 2 classics. Absolutely love it. And of course, Damon, I got to go back to, how we opened up the program, right? This ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around, right? So, All right, Emily, I want to give a huge shout out. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. I know how busy you are. I know this was we don't take your time lightly. Thank you for sharing your expertise, your passion, your truth.
Yes.
Big hearts to you. Let me see if my computer going to do it. There it is, right there for you, Emily.
Yeah.
You like that? So, Damon, your closing thoughts?
No, it's just super cool seeing what you're doing, helping these job shots, Emily, and just thanks for sharing it here today.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. So let's go here, guys. If you know what, it's we're 53 minutes in. If you've been sitting this whole time, it's a great time to stand up, stretch, and give Emily a big standing ovation for sharing her truth, her wisdom, her expertise, her guidance. And so again, connect with Emily on LinkedIn, go to her website, join her mastermind, and be ready for her New York Times bestselling book that's going to be coming out in 2026. Yes. So Emily, hang out with us for 1 second. Damon, why don't you go ahead and close us out? Guys, and one last thing, Damon. One last thing. Just go out and be someone's inspiration, just like our dear friend Emily, and you too can make the world a better place. Damon, take it away, dude.
All right. Thanks, Kurt. Emily, thank you so much for being here today. I want to thank all those viewers out there. We can see you're online listening. We can see that. Love it when you drop a comment. Love it when you're out there listening. And if you got in late, you want to go back to the beginning and listen to some of the value bombs that Emily was dropping. Also connect with Emily on LinkedIn if you aren't already and learn more about what she does. Thanks everyone for being here. We will be back again next week with another awesome guest. We're out for now.